Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's Saturday the 13th of December 2025, 12:47 p.m. And I just wanted to make a quick video. I haven't chosen another book to read to us yet. I'm thinking what I'm going to read to all of it, because I'm reading them sometimes, not for the first time, but some of the books were completely fresh. But not Alice in Wonderland, obviously. I read that several times during my childhood and adolescence. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly show you. I'm happier with this now. I put a video up yesterday. I was a bit dubious about it because, the little melted bits. But I've cleaned it up and I've filed it back and I've polished it with my 3M polishing discs that I really like. Sometimes they're a bit harsh, but anyway, it was perfect for this actually, because it had lots of rough lumpy bits by design, because it was fused silver. So they've been flattened out and smoothed out, but they still have a fair bit of interesting corrugations. So I'm quite happy with it now. Much happier with it than I was yesterday. Of course, I lost a bit of length, so it's a bit shorter, but it's, as I said, I'm going to use it for a bail, so I'm quite happy with it, quite like it. So it's been a fair bit of work faffing about with this, because I had to, you can see where I soldered it there. I could actually file that back more and disguise that, but I actually like it kind of rustic. Let's just get some focus, shall we? So I've been a busy mama T. I'm very tired today. I didn't sleep with my CPAP mask on because I've had some weird summer cold and or allergy. You can see my lips are a bit purplish, but they normally look like that anyway. But I slept without the mask last night because it's actually kind of dangerous to have the CPAP mask on your nose and your mouth when your nose is really congested, and I was quite congested last night, so I slept without it. I had a fairly good night though. The only thing, I woke up in the middle of the night needing to pee. Boring, but only once a night at the moment, which is pretty good considering I rejected the Botox treatment. So looks like I made the right choice there, that I haven't needed to descend into that madness. I mean, it's not madness, it works, or so I'm told, but I just didn't want to add any more toxic load to my body than what I'm already dealing with. So and it's kind of mind over matter. It's down to 1 times a night, so it's not too bad. But what happened was I got up and my throat was so dry. I was like, because I'm used to the CPAP mask with the humidifier, breathing in moist air, especially in this heat. So I missed it for that reason. So I'll be back on it tonight if my nose settles down a bit. I'll be back on the mask if for nothing else than just with the humidifying aspect. And I'm not liking, I think that's why I'm feeling a bit flat. I'm not liking the fact that I'm now dependent on the CPAP mask for breathing and a comfortable night. But the night before I backslid to 1.8 events an hour. That means I stopped breathing 1.8 times. I don't know what 0.8 means, but anyway, it's just annoying. But the night before it was 0.2, so I've been doing really well, but every now and then my body, my breathing, my lungs, my breathing mechanism does this little flippity gibbet, but it makes sense given how exhausted I was the day before from all that sewing on the machine, and really wore myself out. and I was in a very heightened, anxious state. So, you know, I needed to rest actually. So last night, I slept, apart from that one break in the night to get up to pee, and then I had to have a drink of water because I was so dry. It was like, my whole mouth felt like I was just dried out coconut shell. It was an awful feeling. So very naughtily I went and had some lollies though in the night. Sometimes I just crave sugar. Shouldn't be doing that. I've got to stop doing that. It's very primal and very childlike and very kind of a post-traumatic response, reaching for the sugar every time I feel discomforted. I've got to stop it. It's an addiction, people of Earth. I weighed myself. I don't normally weigh myself because I don't like to be focused on weight and fat and obesity, and I find it destabilizing for me. But I'm conscious that I've gained weight, which is weird because I look like I'm actually a bit more thinner in the face, but that's not the case because I'm up to 94 kilos now. And I've been sitting on about 89, 90 for the last 5 years, so I've increased by 4 kilos, so that's got to be mitigated, and I'll have to just be very disciplined and knock off the added sugar. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it because fat is a feminist issue, and if I beat myself up psychologically about weight gain or weight decrease, I get myself into a real fucking tizzy, you know, and state of distress, which means I eat even more and become even more distressed. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to have to discipline myself to go for that 10-minute walk that I used to do before Charlie died. I sort of stopped walking, you know, that every day, that little walk that I used to do with Charlie, which was pleasurable and good for Charlie and got me out of the house actually, just even that little walk around the block. So I'm going to have to be very disciplined and reinstate the 10-minute walk, maybe walk through the forest. For some reason I no longer feel safe or comfortable walking around the block. It's a kind of a form of agoraphobia, I guess. You know, it's weird. I've been conscious that I've been weird about that for a while now. But I could take myself off I could, you know, take a bus to South Bank and walk up and down South Bank for an hour. Actually, walk an hour a day would be better for my health and more strengthening, and, you know, maintain the homeostasis with my weight better, I think. I think that's what I need to do. But even 10 minutes walking used to wear me out quite a bit. It's odd, you know, I can go dancing on the weekend and dance for 3 to 4 hours, come home utterly depleted and exhausted, but then I get my full quota of exercise in one night. But I noticed the last time I went dancing, I actually, 3 hours and I was done. I was out of there. Wanted to stay for the rest of the Ramjack gig actually, but I just physically couldn't do it. So I'm kind of getting very tired and depleted, and that'll be to do with the carrying extra weight. It's a vicious cycle, people of Earth. But anyway, I'll have to, I won't diet because diets don't work with me. I again, feeling that I'm being starved or withheld from food, or foods that I particularly like, causes me to go into weird mental states. It's because I think it's got a lot to do with, you know, my early infancy when I was literally starving from, you know, very bad reflux. They had to put me in hospital and just feed me to the point that I passed out. That's how hungry I was, and I was about 6 months old at that stage. I don't remember per se, but it's in my psyche. My family made a point of telling me that I was such a hungry baby that I needed that much food, 2 whole milk bottles to be satiated. And even like now, even as a 60-year-old woman, if I'm not satisfied from a meal and I'm still hungry, I'll get into this real anxious, agitated state, and then I'll just go and eat, overindulge, binge on something. And it's really kind of the anxiety behind it that drives it, rather than actually being all that hungry. So it's another thing I'll have to work at, mitigating the anxiety by exercising more, keeping busy. I've been very good about keeping busy. Like, this is another little, creative burst that happened yesterday. Staving off anxiety. I could stave off anxiety by going back on, psych meds, but I refuse. They didn't do me any good. In fact, they made me balloon out to 103 kilos, which is why I'm a bit concerned that I'm ballooning out with my weight when I'm not on any medications. I should be fine. But also, postmenopausal woman who's 60, we have a tendency to blimp out. People of Earth, it's probably partially hormonal driven too. So the answer to that is I need to walk more, go swimming. I haven't swum all spring, summer long. I haven't been swimming at all, except for that one little brief stint when we went to Coochie Mudlow, Jared and I. That was lovely. But yes, I will have to discipline myself, maybe go there more often and at least once a week or something, and go swimming. Even if I go by myself, because can't wait around for my friends to take me to places. Although it was a lovely day and I hadn't seen them for a long time, so it was lovely. But I need to take myself out and do more swimming, walking, more dancing. If I could find a man that I could trust with my body, mind and spirit, adding 6 to the exercise quotient, but I've lived without that for we're into the 11th year now. So maybe that's what part of the problem is, sex is a healthy outlet and release for human beings, and I've lived without that for so long now that I don't really miss it, because for me it's to do with being safe and being cherished and nurtured and cared for, not just the being bamboon in and out, blow and go, treat you like shit, slander and disparage you to everyone that will listen, rubbish you, treat you like second-rate goods. I had a lifetime of that. That's why I don't want to be used or abused as a sexual object ever again. So although I like the idea of having a sexual partner that is genuine and loving, I've realised a long time ago that it's pretty much a fantasy. Hasn't happened. Did get my hopes up, a few years back, but that was another fucked up game or fantasy, and I'm very angry, still very angry with that person for playing such an evil game. Why would you even do that? But I'm conscious that he's probably done it to many women over the years. It's a sadistic predation and ignobility and an infamy, but let go, let God. Meanwhile, I'm getting fatter. I'm suffering when I shouldn't be suffering, because apart from falling in love with someone that was false, didn't actually do anything wrong. And these things happen to the best of us. I mean, I've fallen in love with a multitude of false men over the years, and each time I had high hopes that they might actually be kind and respectful and enduring, and that when I did have sex with them, that they would value our connection. Never happened. Not once in my life did it happen, actually. And I want to cry about that when I think about it, because it's just so cruel and debased and so tragically unfair. But, you know, I've made a life for myself, struggling on my own now for 31 years. Making little trinkets now. It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd, people of Earth. But anyway, I'm going to go outside, and I was supposed to clean the fish pond filter yesterday and actually forgot, so I'm going to go out, clean the fish pond, and I think I'll put the little birdies outside for the afternoon. It's been very hot, so I kept them in, but I think it looks quite nice out there now. Still no breeze out there. I'll see how hot it is doing the fish pond. If it's stifling, they're better off kept inside with the fan on. But birdie boys, do you want to go out in the garden? Maybe? Thinking about it? Anyway, I just wanted to show you that I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. And the other thing I did is I pulled out all my little ingot blobs of silver. I've got 5 pairs of them. I'm thinking about making little earrings. You know, I've got the little Pegasus that I bought, impressions, you know. I've got a left and a right one, so I can make matching earrings. And the little butterflies for the smaller ones. And yes, make some more of these type things as well. So I've got a lot I could be doing, but I'm just going with the flow, because I know with my health issues and my mental health, which is, you know, can be very cyclic, and especially at this time of year, December, Christmas, Hanukkah, end of year, intensity and anxiety just goes. My traumas can get activated too, because it was never a good time of year for me as a child. I mean, yes, we got lots of presents, but there's more to life than presents, people of Earth. There's presence, PRESENCE, people actually being kind and nurturing and respectful of your little body and your mind and your isness. So yes, so but I will be very busy, I think, keeping myself busy and making my little impressions, and I'll have to buy some sterling silver wire to make the little, you know, posts. So there will be a learning curve, because I haven't really made those much before. I did 2 to make the rivets for my cuff I made. So I can do it, but it'll be a bit stressful, you know, because I'm still learning that too. And I'll have to buy, or do I have to? I could probably try and make my own, but it's probably cheaper just to buy them. The little butterfly, you know, clasps that go on the back of the posts. Probably be cheaper to buy them in, actually. But anyway, making my own would be a learning curve though. Got to think about these things. But, you know, you get them fairly cheaply. So, I mean, I think they're probably made by some robot in some factory in China somewhere. But they're only for the backs. You know, the actual earring I'll hand make myself. So I'm kind of excited about that. I've got them all lined up on my bench to remind me that that's my next project that I'm going to work at. And yeah, I had a look at making my bag yesterday from my Pinky tapestry, and I had all the taffeta spread out to use as a lining, and then I went into an anxiety state and thought, don't think I'm ready to do this yet, which I'm glad I didn't just cut it up and just throw myself into it, because I had a look at a YouTube video and there was a wonderful man called Cade Made. Oh, he made the two most beautiful carpet bags. I'd love that. So I don't have his skills though. He was quite clever how he put it all together, but you know, I guess I could try. But the tip I got from watching his video was to stiffen the back of the tapestry. You buy this iron-on material that you iron on, and it actually gives more form and structure, so it's not too wobbly and stiffens the whole back. So I'm glad for that reason alone it was worth watching that YouTube video, because I now know what I need to do with my tapestry before I start even making a lining for it. That should be the first thing off the first cab off the rank. So you see, my anxiety and my self-doubts caused me to not be quite so impulsive and impetuous and find the appropriate methods and ways of going about things, people of Earth. So I'm grateful now. Once again, my angel's watching over me saying, just wait, there's something you need to know before you throw yourself into that project. He also showed how to make a pattern for the bag using paper. You know, you just use brown paper. That's an excellent idea. So I'm going to do that too. That way I'll know how much seam allowance and how it sort of fits together. And yes, so I'm very, very excited and happy about all of that. So that's a project that's kind of on the back burner for now, because I've got to buy the iron-on material. I don't even know what it's called, but I'll ask in Spotlight. And I've got to try and source, you know, the kind of frame for the top of the bag that, don't know what you call it. It's like doctor's bags have it, where it just overlaps together, and I'm going to have to try and source that. I looked on eBay, but they weren't like quite wide enough. They only went up to like 20 centimeters, and the tapestry is this big, so I don't know if I can get one that's long enough. But anyway, it'll be another work in progress, making that happen, people of Earth. But anyway, it'd be interesting if I can actually make it. The other thing is just to make it just a plain tote bag, and then I don't need the actual framing to hang the bag off. But let's be ambitious and have what we really want, people of Earth, instead of settling for second best because we lack confidence and trust in our abilities. Sometimes it's good to be a little bit ambitious, and you know, like with my silversmithing, some of the projects, I was like, I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to do that. And it took a lot of resilience and perseverance and determination, but I was surprised what I was able to do. Like even this little box, even though technically it's a bit of a failure with the melting, has come up quite lovely, and it's still usable, and I'm still happy with it. So, you know, I like that it's a bit rustic. And if I wasn't happy with it, I could have just melted it down for scrap and used it in something else. But, you know, I think it's turned out quite lovely. So on that note, I bid you good afternoon. I'll be back with a story, I think maybe later, after I've done the fish pond and I've got the birdies out in the garden and I can breathe and relax. I'm thinking I might read Us. This book was gifted to me actually by my friend Lynn Sloan some years ago. So I think it's really meant for children, but it's just so delightful. How to be a Viking. And it's a pop-up book, which she absolutely knows I am passionate about pop-up books. I used to buy them for my daughters when they were little, and all the things I used to buy for my daughters, and spent so much money on them and spoilt them lavishly. And you know, my parents spoilt me lavishly too when I was a child, so there was that. It's what you do when you've got kids. But look, I think I'll read that to us. Because it's a children's book, it won't take long to read, and we can enjoy that together, and then I'll think of something else I can read to us. I'm trying to decide whether to go with more spiritual subjects or, you know, magical subjects, or read some of my Jewish books to you. I'm trying to decide. Whatever will be, will be. Que sera, sera. So on that note, I'll be back shortly, or later today, people aware. Take good care, be of good cheer. Remember, as always, never ever to let the bastards to grind you down, up to and including your own self-doubts and fears. Rise above it each and every time, and live your best life according to your capabilities or possibilities or potentiates, things you might not have ever even dreamed of yet. I'm really enjoying that I'm discovering all these new wonderful things about myself. But yes, I'll have to watch my sugar intake, people. Bye for now.